and trucked here yesterday. Processor draft steers and heifers, magnificent line of cattle, very, very good to handle. And I tell you what, the cattle that they're doing. Anyone that have bought them before, I tell you what, they'll turn inside out. There you go, Pride and Place, 15 off. They're by the good Lawson's Angus bulls. There you go.
Monthly store sale at Wodonga, Barnawartha on Thursday. Elders, Landmark and Corcoran Parker. Matt Tinkler joins me. Matt, numbers back a little bit today with just the 1,500 odd head penned here. Price of buyers become more accepting of the price, you say?
Yeah, most definitely, Murray. Yeah, look, we saw a bit of a reduced yarding than what we'd advertised due to the wet weather. A few cattle couldn't get out. And yeah, look, I think today, just standing on the rail and selling the cattle, we certainly saw just a bit more accepting of the rate. People were understanding it, and probably because of those lower numbers knew they had to get in and buy them. But we certainly saw people accepting to step in and pay what we've been seeing, you know, the rate that we've been probably seeing for the last 2 or 3 months, at $4 a kilo or better.
A lot of steers, of course, there's spring-dop steers that are coming through now that are $1,400 to $1,550 and $1,600. It's a pretty good rate. There's a good return on those for the people that have held on to them and weathered the storm.
Oh, most definitely, Murray. Yeah, look, I think any breeders, and good luck to them. They've stuck with the job, but they're certainly getting well paid for it now. So, I think everyone will be very pleased with those.
Yeah, the heifer job here today, it was, the heifers appear more advanced on the season as you would naturally expect coming out of into spring. But there was the heifer market started at about 360 and climbed to about 420.
Yes.
For some 260 kilo heifers. They're spreading their wings, aren't they, the heifer market?
Oh, most definitely, and we're seeing the gap between steers and heifers really close up. You know, traditionally we've seen that good 40, 50, even up to $1 a kilo difference. But it's very, very close now. You know, you're only talking in places only 5 or 10 cents, if that. You know, some of the better heifers are on par with what the steers are making similar weight. So,
most of the cattle here today with the buyers have stayed reasonably local with just the one order out of Bathurst.
Yeah, that's right. And look, you'd probably expect that with the yarding. You know, 1,500 cattle doesn't always command a lot of northern competition here, just purely from a freight point of view, but certainly you look around and there's plenty of feed, so there's plenty of competition and demand locally.
Yeah, quite significantly today, and you would normally see it in a September sale here at Barnawartha, is that the number of beef bred cows and calves breeders was you could almost count on one hand.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, I think everyone's aware that female numbers are well and truly low, and we've seen so many be processed in the last 2-3 years that it's now a point of, you know, if you can breed from it, keep it in the system and get a calf, get a live calf, and you see the results there with the weaners. Yes.
Yeah, the cows and calves that were here, mainly all F1s with young, 4 to 8 week old calves at foot. Generally starting at about $1,500 and running through to $2,500 and $600.
Yeah, that's right. And look, I think we've seen it. We've said it before, but they probably, in relation to the young weaner cattle and that side of the market, they still represent pretty good value. I think it's just a time, and obviously there's a bit of confidence in the season. There's going to be feed, so I think you can really see value in buying those sort of outfits.
A 3-for-1 deal that you sold yourself for $2,800.
$2,820.
Yeah, big calves at foot. There's probably $1,200 calves on them, but they see value actually at that sort of money.
They do. Yeah, surprising. Look, it's a big outlay. There was only 8 of them, so it's a fair old check to write out. But I think they do. You know, you're going to get another calf on the ground back in March. You've got a big weaner, like you said, probably $1,100 to $1,200 in value. So yeah, I think you're not going to lose on those.
Yeah. So this cattle market could get quite exciting when the country dries out.
Yeah, look, we really haven't seen the grass growing potential locally yet. So we get a few more sunny days like today, and we'll really see some feed jump away, and I guess we might see even more demand. Whether the market goes to another level, we'll wait and see. But yeah.